expands. Where are ya? There you are. I forgot the drone. Sorry. I'm British and I made an R6 drone. Oh, wrong side. Hey. Is this really gonna be the intro? Fuck. I made an R6 drone. I'm gonna be kind of talking about it today, just going into a bit more detail about it, showing you some test prints, stuff like that, some things that I've done. You can't see any of that useless bit, wasn't it? So I did actually write a script for this, but it was really boring. So I scrapped that. I've got some wheels here. So I started off not making the wheels, I started off actually making the body. It came out quite nice, got the details in it. I'll show you some CAD, but you probably don't care about that. So, bam! Can't really, sorry. Yeah, so I got this this body, which came out quite nice. I'll get some better footage for this, but it came out quite nice. Yeah, and then once I've done that, I moved into the wheels. So I just wanted to print basic. I just realized I'm not even recording audio. That's crazy. I'm so wow. That's actually nuts. I am recording audio this whole time. Maybe I should have scripted this, because then it could at least had like some sort of consistency. Hopefully, that's filming audio. If not, the intro will be refilmed, and this whole segment here would be completely pointless. I'm gonna check that right now. Well, the audio was actually a lot better than I thought it would be, so if anything, I might not even use this. It's kind of phallic anyway, isn't it? At least it's big. Right, so I just muted it. There we go. Yeah, so back into the wheels. So I did some little test prints of the wheels. I've probably got some like, I can get some like stock footage and stuff for this. But yeah, I've got these wheels. Had no bearings in or anything like that. I just wanted to see what the best orientation was to print it out, because it's got a lot of detail and a lot of weird areas to actually print it out. As well as I wanted to make sure if I printed these out that the seam line, which is this little center line in here where these two pieces connect, would be completely invisible. And of course, once I put the little wheels around the outside of it, it would remove that issue because it would be hidden. Therefore, it doesn't count. Once I did that, I kind of moved on to some bearings and stuff. So I printed one with a hole for a bearing in it. I realized that didn't work, so I did a different bearing size, and I've got that, which worked pretty good. So that's what's on this right now, and it spins pretty freely. I also then started printing the little light box thing on top. These didn't have lights in, these were just a test to see what sort of detail I can get out and the spacing between each things. Yeah, I'm gonna need some close-up shots for these because all these parts are black as well, which honestly just makes it awful for filming, especially when you're like trying to do that because it just looks like a black screen. But then I moved on to these where, yeah, so these are ones that I can actually put lights in. Here's, bam, there you go, future me put the picture. Yeah, so those have like lights in. I did two different variants of that to test what orientation to print it out in. I found this one was way better. Of course you can't see what I'm looking at, but yeah, so once I did that, I kind of moved on to the body a little bit more, actually making it hollow, cutting out some parts of the body, so I can actually put electronics in. I got these took ages to arrive. They finally arrived. I ordered 3 of them, just in case. I don't fuck shit up quite a few times first. Sorry for cussing. So I made sure to cut it in a certain way so there wouldn't be any seam line. The only seam line you can actually see is along here. That's fine because it's going to be covered up by a wheel hub, and of course the wheel's going to be on it. I also wanted to make sure when building this that there were no screws. Even the switch was like as hidden as it can possibly be. I want to have functionality. I'll just mute it again. And I thought, okay, magnets. Magnets are the easiest, simplest. What words could I pick? So, I don't know, best option probably. I found that didn't involve screws and stuff. and it still held it on perfectly fine. So I thought I ordered 5 by 5 millimeter screws. I was wrong. So I modeled these. Those were pointless. They're actually like 5 by 3 millimeters. So they were a lot smaller. So I printed this as a test piece. The shear force would be an issue. So it's all good pulling it off, but it could also be sheared off. And I didn't want that. So I added, it's got 4 spots for pins, one here, one here, one here, and one actually has a pin in there. That way you could shear it off. It also helps line up everything perfectly. Tea break. Turns out when you film yourself making tea, it's not as good as when you just do it. That's another great cup of tea. And then also the switches were, where are the switches? Where art thou switches? Where did I actually put them? Got them. Hey, not bad. Yeah, so the switches also arrived by now. Let's get one of these out. Alright. So the switch arrived, and I also modeled where I wanted the switch. So the switch was one of my main issues. One thing that had to be exposed. It had to be exposed. So I had no real other choice of where to put it. But I think it was a great place to put it, there. So I ended up putting it in the eye, well, not the eye, the camera, whatever you want to call it. So you would click, hold it from behind, you click in the eye for it to activate, which worked great. And it's a black light, so it works perfectly. And the main issue with a lot of this as well was actually trying to fit everything in it, because the body of these things are not very big. So that just kind of fits in there, nice and snug, as you can see. There you go, that's a bit better. But the top was nowhere near right. Somehow these measurements did not line up whatsoever. So yeah, I had to reprint that definitely. And then I'm not even using the mic. I'm probably just gonna use phone audio. Honestly, yeah, fuck that. Right. Yeah, so, I mean, this might work here to be fair. Ooh, that's gonna be loud. I was kind of running out of space a little bit, so I ended up sinking this by a good like 3 or 4 mil down into the base even more, to where it was almost touching the outside, but it was fine. So that was good. Now we're on to the final version, where you got a little light right there, and then if you want to take the batteries, you just pull on the bottom. You've got the batteries and all the innards and stuff, pieces of metal that go through it, these rods. Not great. These are, I brought this like carbon fiber, like wire pretty much, which works, but hand cutting out 30, the same length, really hard. So, I went on AliExpress and brought a bunch of pre-cut ones. They are going to take like another 15 days of recording to like arrive. So, I mean, this is kind of a drag. I don't even know what else I was going to talk about. I mean, the script was so overwhelmingly boring. So, it's just buzzing. It's not, it's really bad. What are problems? I've had a bunch of problems. It's just I never note it down. I ended up just dealing with it at the time. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, I made this for Jinxie, technically. So, hey Jinxie, if you're watching, big fan. I'm making this for Jinxie, and I'm trying to make it really screen accurate. Oh, that's what? I made a stand. I'm joking, it's not. But I made a stand. I made a stand. It's really hard to do when you're holding it. Yeah, so it kind of looks like it's floating, because it hangs it by the tail. So I made it for Jinxie, but I've been uploading on TikTok, and turns out people really like it. So I think I'll probably ended up selling it at one point. I've never made Omni wheels before. It's not easy to make Omni wheels. So I'm like really like high up in the recording, aren't I? I don't want to lean back. It was really hard to make Omni wheels. I figured it out. It took me way too long, but I figured it out. It was fine. I think that's it. Okay, bye.